go.
Welcome along, folks. Hello, all DrayBarrels out there. It's time of the week for another beer review. From me, the governor, on the English British side of the pond, over to the ref in Texas, in hell on earth as the temperatures rise. How are you doing over there, ref?
Yes, okay, testing. We are live in Texas, joining you all the way across the pond. And
Oh,
thank you for that introduction, Governor.
well, change it up a little. I do like your jazzy top there with the flies on it. Very nice indeed.
Ah, they're surfers. What have you got
Oh,
there?
oh, sorry. That's a surfboard, is it? Yeah, it looks like wings. I've got an old
I've
Prodigy top there. The guys from the Prodigy.
brilliant,
They're right,
brilliant.
yeah. Old
Yes.
top. It's for bed, you see. It's nearly the midnight hour approaching, fast approaching. But
Ah,
I've got to keep up the tradition and keep up with the weekly beer review with you. So looking forward to it. Got a different one tonight. How about yourself? Got a good beer lined up?
yeah, I do. I've got something a little bit special, kind of, you know how we zig and zag between the two different ones. IPA, back to stout, IPA. Kind of, well, I know we were doing stouts for a while, but I like to zig and zag a little bit, as I know you do.
Yeah, well, I was gonna go for a stout tonight, and then I thought, no, I done that different milkshake for the one last week, the rhubarb Streisand, and
Ooh.
I thought, no, I know you love me going back to the bottles, so I've gone back to the bottles this week with an English ale or an
Ooh.
English beer rather. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we probably want to get on with our little
Let's
first
start the
segment.
show. Let's get
Yeah.
going.
Let's do this. And as you all know, you loyal Dre barrels, it's this. I've got some beer news for you.
Oh, where were you looking then?
Have you got some beer news for us?
I thought you were looking on the ceiling then, like you had some news up on top. I've got some beer news if you're lacking over there.
A little bit dry this week on this, and I know it was probably your turn. So what have you got for us there, Governor?
Well, my beer news is from, it's resulting from the pandemic that's worldwide. In this country, I was reading this week that in the UK alone, there's close to nearly 90 million pints of beer that have gone to waste in the last year.
90 million.
Yeah, just in the UK. So worldwide, there must be, well, tenfold that, I should imagine, even more. But
God.
Heineken, the Manchester brewery that they have in the UK, in England here, they came up with an idea to try to recycle some of this beer rather than just pouring it down the drain and saying goodbye to it. Obviously, they couldn't sell it. There's a massive surplus because the pubs and bars are shut. So they came up with this idea, and what they do is they convert the surplus beer into energy. They recycle the beer through a anaerobic digester, excuse me, that converts the beer into biogas, and that biogas turns into heat and electricity. So far, the Manchester uh, branch of Heineken's brewery over here, they've managed to convert 83,210 50-litre kegs into energy. So transforming it back into biogas, and that is since May last year. So almost a year we're coming up. And that equates to about 7 million pints of beer.
Wow. So you
And the
talk.
electricity that has done, it doesn't sound much because it's only a day, but that alone, what they've converted, could run 28,000 homes for a day in this country. So at least it's not going to waste. They're converting it and
Yeah, and
making
it's
something out of
helping the
it.
environment, right? It's
Yeah, they're all going this way, aren't they? These breweries, but
Yeah,
it was thrust upon them, and they're trying to make the best of a bad situation. So you got to tip your hat to the guys at Heineken,
definitely. And
and the lads and lassies in the Manchester branch brewery there have give it a go.
so that kind of that's beer that was essentially sitting, right?
Yeah, it would
It's
have
not
been
just
wasted.
figures.
No, it would have been spoiled. So I mean, that isn't the 90 million pints is all the breweries and that in the UK. That's what they estimate. It's just below 90 million, but they estimate around that amount. And of course, when you're talking about, um, I think the average UK pint over here is about £3.80, which I'm not sure what that is in America, but it's about $5 something.
Yeah,
And
around that.
yeah, and they reckon that because of that, there's been, in the brewery sector, in the beer selling sector, there's a loss of £330 million of wasted beer. So
Man, that's
yeah,
just, and even that, I mean, if you think about it, that's like 7 million compared to 90 million. So there's still a huge, huge difference. But at least something's being done with some of it, you know.
yeah.
I know it's
I
not
mean,
a
what
big.
they could have done to properly recycle it would, there's 66 or 70 million people in this country. They could have all sent us, 4 or 5 pints each. That would have
Yeah.
been nice. Wouldn't have got
But
wasted then.
but if you think about it, that would be good marketing in a way, because it's like, think of us after lockdown. Here you go, and it's like, oh, remember that? Remember that Heineken in
Yeah,
lockdown? Let's have a pint to toast them.
yeah.
The figures will be rolled. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Yeah, no, it might be, or maybe I'll email them. I know you're getting a few emails tonight. Maybe it is them listening live. Who knows?
Yeah, we apologize. There seems to be a lot of DrayBarrels emailing in as we do this, so there's little noises here and there.
A
But
little
if they don't,
bit of bleeping. I can almost touch it, but it's just beyond me. I think it's your side.
in the ethos
Yeah,
beyond somehow, and we can't trace it.
I can hear it, but I can't see it.
Catch it if
Right.
you can, I guess.
So go
Um,
on then. I've given the beer news for this week.
okay,
Let's have a look at what you've got to offer us.
you want me to get the barrels rolling?
Uh,
Um, yes.
yeah,
Okay, I am going outside Texas for a change on
it's
a.
a brick.
Yeah, well, it's
I thought it was Texas and then other states. You're going outside
what
of Texas.
what
You better
those
keep your
northern.
voice down. You better keep your voice down, son.
I could get it. But well, it was on my wife's prompting, and she said, "Why not use?" And a lot of my wife's family are from Maine, up in New England, and
Ah,
you've heard of a lot of Stephen King fans will know Maine as well if you're
yeah.
listening. I've never been there, but this is Maine Beer Company, Freeport, Maine, and it's called Mean Old Tom.
Just hold it straight a minute. Oh, it's pretty plain package. Oh, look at that. I see it now. Stout 8. It's got for the people that are listening, it's got an expression of a man with a bit of a sour face, bit grumpy, mean old Tom.
It is, and there's a bit of a story behind it, and I'll go into that in a bit. But it's very plain, and the brewery itself do just this plain white, and always in bottles as well, like this. So it's
Oh, you've got a bottle this week. You go on about me and my bottles, but you've got one this week.
I know, right? I'm kind
Hey,
of
trend setting over here.
and
And
it's
also, just to let you know, I've got a bottle as well. So
oh brilliant. See the Draymen this week are on the same course, I guess. And look at it, I always love the bottle cap. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just basically the logo of the main
oh, I see. Yeah.
brewing, and it's a 6.5, I believe. 6.5, and it's a pint. It's just a full pint here.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, and it's a stout aged on natural vanilla beans.
Oh, it
So,
sounds nice.
shall I
It look,
get?
funny thing is with a stout bottle, it looks nice, doesn't it? There's something about the wording. They get it just right.
They seem to, don't it? It's almost like there's more of an effort involved in stouts, don't you think?
Well, yeah, well, I don't know. I just appreciate it. I think we're fans of stouts more than anything, but
maybe we're a bit
Oh,
biased.
yeah. What's your bottle opener? Anything special or just a blue?
Nah, I lost. It's just a blue bore.
I don't know what the fuck happens to mine. I had that nice Guinness one. I had that lady with the long legs. I've
Yeah.
just, I've just got the old corkscrew out tonight because I can't find any of those fuckers.
And that always ends up back in the drawer, doesn't it? The others may go somewhere else, but always the old corkscrews, always in the drawer.
Always.
It's it's so true. So not much of a smell to that. But let's just get a pour. I've got my old thumper, as I call it.
Oh, so we've swapped because I bought myself a different glass. So you've got your post banger this week then.
Yeah, I like that. I like that term, the post banger. I don't think it's the best pour I've ever done, but it's almost
I
like
tell you what, on the old Instagrams and the other things that we've tuned into, there's a bit of a fashion for a larger head on the old pictures I've noticed.
do you know
Hence
what?
my picture the other night, I had a nice sort of 2-inch head on it just to join in.
You did, and then my one I took recently on the weekend that had a big old head on it, and there you go. There's another, there's another one. So I may not be wetting my beard so much today because I've had a bit of a trim DrayBarrels, just tidied it up a little bit. I was looking like a sea dog, salty sea dog. So I won't get as much in my. They were There were some DrayBarrels that were laughing apparently. So I heard on the grapevine that my beard was.
Oh yeah, popping their heads out a window. Oh, and you know all the old tricks.
How insulting!
You know what? With that massive head thing, and they all look like ice creams. It tends to be the the IPAs and things like that at the moment. And I reckon it was just one trendy place that poured a shit pour, stuck it out there, and then someone else has thought, oh, and that's how this fashion thing's gone around.
Well, like cardigans and what was the other big fashion phase that just suddenly came about? Um, I forget. But yeah,
Christmas
you want
jumpers. Christmas jumpers.
Christmas jumpers. You wonder how these things get started, and maybe they watched us. Maybe this is the latest big trend: is big old heads on brews. It starts with the
Yeah.
Dray barrels. Starts with the Dray men, I should say.
There'll be pictures of you soon with your cheeks sucked in, pouting at the camera. Anything for a like.
Pushing the boundaries.
Right, come on, let's get back to the beer. I'm spoiling your little review here.
No,
So,
that's okay. It's standard. I'm just gonna. That's nice. Definitely hints of vanilla in there, as it states. Just your average, good, solid stout. Not too. Just an old-fashioned stout, I would say.
an old fashioned. How strange, because the beers I had tonight, two lined up. One was a stout, and I thought, no, I'm going to save that one for like a mini review. And luckily I didn't, because you're doing a stout, so that's good. Bit of light and shade. I got a golden beer tonight.
Oh, nice. Do you probably want to pour yours, and then we can talk about this
Yeah,
in a
let's
bit.
have a look. So
Yeah.
I've got a Wayne. It's called Wainwright the Golden Beer. If I hold that,
Wainwright. He walked, right?
yes, you don't have to spoil it for him with them. I've got it all lined up. Thank you very much indeed, referee. But yes, Wainwright. It is based on the aforementioned Alfred Wainwright, who was a very famous Lakeland fell walker and very famous walker around the whole of the British Isles. Covered over 100,000 miles of challenging countryside in his 84 years on this planet.
Gosh.
And this beer is a little nod to him, a tribute to the man himself. And I'll go into a bit about that later.
Yeah.
Let's get it open. So it's a simple top on it. Just a W, or I like to think an M for someone called Martin. And
a Dray.
I've got a plain pint glass that doesn't weigh a ton. I spent 69p of the Queen's English on a lovely clean one. So I don't feel like I'm cheating it by pouring it into another glass with something else on the sides. So here we go.
And you said this was a golden ale?
It's a golden ale, yeah.
Okay.
It's 4.1, so it's only a light ale.
That is, yeah.
Refreshing. And there we go. Just about a pint there.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice
Looks
and
like a
clear.
lager. And this is a little sort of on the spiel that you get when I've checked it out. It's a little step over for any lager boys that want to taste something slightly different. It's a golden ale, but it won't put anyone off, that's used to lager, used to the old battery acid. It's just a nice, pleasant sort of step over to something different. So I'm going to give it a go.
It's very clear.
A lovely beery smell. Oh, that is a pub smell right there.
Oh.
Like the mixture of different ones. That is lovely. Let's get in there.
Takes you going back to the pub, I suppose. How is it?
Fuck my old boots. That is beautiful.
Oh.
Talk to me. That is what it says on the back. You can imagine. I mean, for me, what time is it now? We're talking about 11:30 at night. It's not really a good night beer. It is a lovely, refreshing, tasting beer that after, like it says on the back, after a long walk, maybe conquering a fell or a mountain or a valley yourself, nice day of walking, end up at the pub, enjoy a nice beer as a reward. And this is certainly it. I'd love to sit on a summer's day with you. Bottom of a valley by a babbling brook, a willow tree just lightly comforting in the wind.
A wood warbler singing away in the boughs.
Sinking a few of these, watching Mr. Lewis himself struggle in and out of his skin-tight trousers.
Just having a little
overpriced walking gear.
Having a little chuckle at his expense, but still enjoying the atmosphere of it all.
Enjoying his company and praying that he doesn't kill us on the way home with his rally-style driving. But no, it's a lovely tasting ale. I knew it would be. You can just tell sometimes, can't you?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I've probably had this a few years back.
Right.
When I saw it, I hadn't seen it for a while, but when I saw it on the shelf, I thought I've definitely had one of those.
So what's the brewery called, by the way? So it's
this is the tricky bit about this beer. It was brewed by Thwaites Brewery in Blackburn, very famous brewery. But in recent years, that's been bought out by the Marston's Brewery, who own it all. So it's sort of like brewed somewhere different to where it's from.
Right, yeah.
They bought out a lot of breweries, although they still trade under the thing, but it's actually brewed in the Marston's Brewery, which is in Wolverhampton in the Midlands, so slightly below where it's actually advertising, if you will. I mean, it's talking about the fells that I've talked about. A fell is like a mini mountain, if you will. The fells that he walked, which was 214 of them, all around the Lake District, which is in Cumbria, one of the northern counties of Britain. And the Lake District is one of the most beautiful areas in Britain. Countryside stunning. And he climbed 214 of these, which he wrote guidebooks on. Yeah. And I think only one of the 214 was less than 1,000 feet. So they're all over 1,000 feet. There's all sorts of challenges that go on now about running these things and trying to break records and people. But it's such a lovely area. That's why he done such a good job with his guidebooks. He has brought a lot of tourism to the area. I know a lot of American people, a lot of tourists from Japan and all over the world do go to the Lake District because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And he lived between 1907 and 1991. So
very, very well known.
Yeah, unfortunately, the brewery isn't nearby anymore. It's not, it's not in Cumbria. It's in the Midlands, as I said. But
Yeah.
this is a lovely little beer.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of big craft beers that have been bought by these bigger companies and these bigger breweries, but they still trade under their
Yeah,
name, So, it is happening a lot, but at least it's good to hear it's still going on. So,
excuse me if you hear the dishwasher in the background. It's decided to come to life.
well, my son's jumping around pretending to be Indiana Jones. So, excuse me if there's any whip cracks going on in the
Oh,
background. So,
oh, you'll be running for your life soon.
I know, be careful.
There was a little thing I'd like to just say about this beer, and there's a really cool talking about my new pint glass,
Yes,
the old plain Jane one here,
like
to
it.
show off the different beers. There's actually a pint glass I really want to get from the Wainwright. Now, if you look at the front of the bottle, you've got one of the fells there, maybe Scarfell, the tallest one, but
Hmm.
you can get a lovely pint glass with the image of that. And the little phrase on it that says, which was one of Alfred Wainwright's phrases, saying, "Have you found your mountain yet?" Which is a
Oh,
cool little phrase. He had a lot of little philosophical phrases, which the beer's based around. And it was one of them which stood out for me was, "You were made to soar, crash to earth, then rise and soar again." You
that's
know,
beautiful.
yeah.
And like you say, philosophical, very
Yeah,
much.
he's
And
got quite a few. He's a very interesting guy. I've recently started to research the old national parks again and have
yeah.
wanted to go back to the Lake District. I went there many years ago as a kid, but I would love to spend a couple of weeks up there and do a few of these fells.
Oh, man.
Um, and he sounds like it's quite the character.
What I always remember from the Lake District, because I've done some walking up there, Scarfell Pike, and we did a few others, but we came down the mountain and there was a pub. I'm trying to think where it was. It wasn't Windermere. It was one of the other little outlying lakes, but it was just at the base of the mountain, and it was just perfect. Small village. The
That's
pub
it.
was there. It was
It
a
seems
wind.
every fell round there's probably got a pub nearby, I should imagine.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you've been up so you went to the top of Scarfell Pike.
We walked Scarfell Pike,
Oh,
and
that's
yeah,
that. As you would know, just to let everyone else know, that Scarfell Pike is England's highest mountain, where Wales has Snowdonia and Scotland has Ben Nevis. So that's quite cool. I've never been up Scarfell Pike.
but you've been to the Lake District, right?
Yeah, I've been to the Lake District, but only as a
Yeah,
child. So
yeah.
up
It's
in
definitely.
Windermere and all that, it's so lovely.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. You get lakes like Wasswater, which is gorgeous, and I think Windermere is very kind of commercialized a little bit, and there's a lot going on. But some of the other Ullswater, that's where we stayed actually, and that was beautiful. A little bit more rugged, a little bit more wild.
When did you
And
go there?
Ullswater, that would have been in probably 1995. No, 1994. I think it was when I was in college before me and the
Oh,
governor
just
met.
after it was formed.
Yeah, yeah, around that time. But yeah, it was a university study trip, not university, college. We just did some walking up there, and it was obviously before.
Oh, with the Pencoid posse. I gotcha.
Yeah, the Frankster and Sheepy and
He's been,
Scotty Too Hotty and all those
yeah, I've heard those characters.
characters.
Luckily enough to meet a couple of them, and unlucky enough to meet another couple of them. But yes, I have met a few of them guys before.
Did you ever meet Sheepy? I think you did once.
Yeah, Sheepy, I did. Yeah,
Yeah, just yeah, and obviously you
funny
explained
old nickname for a bloke, that Sheepy, isn't it? Makes you
for a
wonder what he
Welshman. Is it really funny for a Welshman though?
I don't know. If other Welshmen call you Sheepy, there's definitely something not right.
It was
Something happened on that mountain, and he's very close-lipped about it.
hey, I think it was just the admiration of the lovely locks that reminded us of our favorite animal. I was going to say pastime. Our favorite animal.
Is it? Can I just ask you? Is everything all right in Texas at the moment? Because I'm not sure
Right.
if it's sinkhole. There we are. You slowly been
Oh,
dropping down the screen like you're sinking into a sinkhole beneath you.
sorry about that. If you're listening in, my
It was
camera
just about to, your chin was just about to rest on top of the screen, and then
slovenly,
yeah,
slovenly
yeah.
behaviour, drinking the stout.
It's that
Um,
energy of yours just creeping in
yeah,
again.
it's all right. I need to perk myself up. I wanted to give the story of old mean old Tom,
Yes,
because
please.
like you saw that mean old face on the front. Um, so I think it was summer of 1976. I was 5 years old, and my uncle Tom came to paint the house. It was
Your Uncle Tom.
not mine, the brewer, the
Oh,
main.
sorry, right.
Yeah,
I didn't know
sorry.
if you were telling me a story or okay.
I'm reading. If you're listening, I'm reading the back of the bottle, so it's obviously the brewer. It was at the tiny town of Louisiana, Missouri, on the mighty Mississippi River. That's three states in one there, where we would take me, where he would take me to troll the roadside ditches and gather one man's junk, beer cans in brackets. In honor of this magnificent treasure, his beer can collection, and the spirit for fast cars, tough motorcycles, and mean smiles, we bring you Mean Old Tom. And that's basically it. So, he was a mean old uncle.
Oh,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I love a little skit, a little story on the back of something like that. That's perfect, isn't it? It gives you a bit of
A lot of beers do that, right?
yeah.
I
I
kind of
like that one because that's a personal one, isn't it? That's someone that's actually lived. It's a tribute to them.
it is, yeah, yeah. If I mean,
That mean old bastard Tom.
my friend Mike Burns, who we'll be chatting to at some point, he had a beer named after his little son. It was called what was it called? Bodie, something Bodie, and it was like an IPA at a local brewery. Just made a beer for him, so it was a little
Oh,
bit
that's
more
nice, isn't it?
personal. So I
Well,
kind of like.
I think that's cool because over here you can do it with things like plants and especially like roses if you want to tribute, like someone in your family with a rose, maybe like someone a bit older or your mum or something, they will make a rose somehow, um, germinate a brand new one with things
Hmm.
that you've said, colours and stuff, and then they'll name it after, well, whatever really, but maybe
Yeah,
after your mum or maybe after someone in your family. So that's a nice little tribute, isn't it? So he's always got
it
that. What did he have when he had it made? The coach, did he have a few
is.
cans made, or was it just a keg,
No,
or what?
it was a keg, I believe, and it was actually on tap, so you could go to the brewery. It's out in Burnley, a little town outside where he lives, and they just did. And he's got friendly with the brewers out there.
In the Burnley Inn?
It's called Ciblo Creek Brewery, and
I thought you said it was Burnley.
it's Ciblo Creek Brewery, but it's the Burnley is the town. So
Oh,
where
sorry,
he
I thought you meant the Burnley Inn, like the Harvester over here.
Burnley Inns, I haven't seen those in a while. Are they
Are
still
you having
going?
that? Fucking
No.
hell, sound like Peter Kay. Remember what? Remember what? Burnley Inn.
Brilliant. Oh, like a harvester. But
Yeah.
oh, I love the salad bar, the harvester. Help yourself to salad.
You
Um,
go to that one and I'll go to the real bar.
yeah, veggie bar. But yeah, the brewery, he kind of came up with the idea in 2006. He was on a little trip to the Everglades National Park with his dad and his wife, and he said, "You know what, Dad? I
Was
want
he
to
looking
make."
for Gentle Ben?
Oh, remember that? Yeah, the big old bear, right?
Well, he was in the Everglades, wasn't he?
Yeah, they used to go around on one of those little Everglade boats. With
Yeah,
a
with the
big fan of
fella
that.
and that little kid with the great big head that turned out to be in all those films when he was older.
He did, didn't he?
He was
Yeah,
in
big.
Apollo 13 and all shit like that, wasn't he?
And he was in Star Trek back in the day as well. Yeah, I believe. But
He got more work out of it, but Gentle Ben himself, we never saw him in anything else.
No, he never came back, did he? I thought he would have been in like a Lassie remake or something like that, but nothing.
Just used him, bastards.
Used, but they kind of have a bit of a running theme with their beers. I think they give 1% of all their percentages back into helping the environment for various organizations. So all their profit, 1%. Doesn't sound a lot, but if you're selling on that many beers, all around the states and stuff, and we see these a lot down here, you'll probably chalk up to a fair amount.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's a good thing, isn't it?
yeah, but so what he said was I should start a brewery, and he said jokingly that I would. Oh, his dad said jokingly that he would drink all his profits. So he figured out if I made enough beer, that problem could be solved. So that was his little
Uh, what
theory.
was his dad called? Was he called like a? There was mean old Tom, and there was happy old Harold.
Maybe, maybe it's yeah. You're right, and I didn't see any named beers other than Mino Tom that they produce,
I
but
see. Now that's funny because usually we've got 4 or 5 beers each from the breweries, but this one was the same. The only other ones to do with the Wainwright was they do a vegan version, which is precisely the same percentage, but it's just vegan. Um, and then they do a pale ale, which is called Altitude, and that's it. I couldn't find any other ones on the Wainwright sort of range of
theme,
beers. Just yeah, just two. So
and that's the
I mean,
brewery itself.
Marsden's and Thwaites themselves do hundreds of different types of beers. Like Marsden's do one of my favourites, Pedigree on tap. It's a nice pint of pedigree in
Brilliant.
it.
I like a
And
pint of that.
yeah, they and obviously they're also Banksy's beer around the Midlands. They're sunk many a pint of Banksy's over the years, and but yeah, other than those three, if you like, if you include the vegan one, that's it for this range.
Wow.
But it's
Okay.
pretty cool. The top of the bottle there is like a very tiny little map of how he used to plot his courses around the fells and chart where he went. And he's just a it's just a cool little thing, really. I mean,
Yeah.
the beer itself uses 100% English malts. The beer is it's lightly hopped. It's just a golden beer. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just
Yeah.
a few of these in a pub at the end of a walk. Be a pleasant experience.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's good though that they've done a few beers on that theme, Sometimes if you kind of run in with a theme, you gotta think of some it could be limited. So I can understand why there's not so many on that theme. It's just
Yeah.
a limited range. Um, this brewery, they do a few. I just wanted to list some of theirs that they actually have on tap right now. If you're in the Maine area and you're listening, or if you're up that area, they have their kind of. They do quite a few, but they have their kind of standard ones that they stick to. Like they do a pale ale, and that's called Peeper, and that was their first ever beer they produced.
Paper.
Peeper, Peeper.
Having
um,
I tell you, that's named after your brother. He's a bit of a peeper.
he's something else. That one. Don't get
He
me.
likes he enjoys a peep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, change subject.
Don't get me started there. That's a drag. Never mind. Hey, but
Oh,
they
sorry.
also yes, hold your horses there, Sandy. Um, but they also do a few IPAs. They've got three IPAs, and their standard one is called Lunch, simply Lunch, and that's their big one that they serve on tap, and you can get it in bottles. And I think I may have had that one. But if you're looking for another stout, they do one called a Black Barn Number 20. I like the name. And it's an oyster stout. Now,
Ah.
what does it? I don't know. I need to research this, but what makes an oyster stout?
Yeah,
Um,
and that's one when I done a review of a stout a while ago, JJ's Brewery in Ireland, and I know I drank a stout, but they also had the oyster stout, and I hadn't had that.
that's right. I remember you
Yeah,
talking about it now.
so
Um, Is it
No,
made with oysters? I can't remember if you talked about that or not, or was it
no,
something?
I didn't talk about that one. I just said if I saw it, I would definitely get it. Yeah, I'm going to try and endeavour to get an oyster stout then.
We should. I mean, it wouldn't it be great if we could do one together and we can talk about what an oyster stout is? Because obviously they're not, I guess, abundant in a way would be the term.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I suppose you're right. I'll have to
But
have a search. Yeah, you don't see them that well. I haven't seen one for sale. I could order one maybe.
yeah, maybe we'll do an oyster special one these days.
And have
And
some oysters alongside the stout. Oh
have you ever had oysters, Governor?
no, I got cream for that.
Oh, okay. I
Cleared up with me Jeremy Kyles.
oh, I was thought it was a subject on Jeremy Vine, but getting the doctor on. But I only had oysters myself when I moved over to the States, and we went down to the coast, and my father-in-law bought a big pack of oysters, and we had oysters and champagne, I believe, on
Oh
the
yeah,
second day.
yeah, that is a common thing. You ever see that program? Oh fuck, man, what is it called now? I can't think. American program, and it's got the two guys that go round
Oh, American Pickers.
Pickers. Yeah.
Yeah, great show that
Now,
is.
now Pickers. That one of those programs on the Pickers. The taller guy, not Frank. He's the shorter guy, but the
Yeah,
other
he is.
guy.
Yeah, I
He
know.
had a bet with Frank, and he went into an oyster bar on the way home, and he done the 12 dozen or something.
What?
Yeah, because they come out in these fucking like stacked things. I mean, it must be an American thing because I've seen it on another program when they come out in such a great volume, and he was just slinging them down his neck.
I've seen it in France with Rick Stein, and he went to
Oh,
a
fucking hell.
French restaurant, and it was a big basket full of oysters, and it was like oysters and chips basically, and all the kids there were eating oysters as well, and he was talking about how kids in Britain and I suppose America they don't eat seafood like they do in on the continent, like France and Spain and places like that. They don't do it as much. They just go for their burger and fries from McDonald's. But it was a big old
It's because
back.
the French and Spanish take all our fucking seafood.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. And they're still arguing about it now with the Brexit, right?
Yeah.
Oh well. Um, yeah, so do you want me to talk a bit more about my brewery, or have you got anything to say on Marsden's or
Well, I'm not going to go into Marsden's. I'll save that for an actual one of their sort of standalone beers. But let me
yeah,
have a glance to see if I've missed anything. Not really. It's
yeah, it's
just advertising that part of the country that's so lovely.
it is
It,
beautiful, isn't it? I think
yeah,
that's
I mean, this is a refreshing beer. It's it's a citrusy flavour that you would get with a golden beer. It's just nice.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
much else to say about it other than type in Wainwright the golden beer, and they got a lovely little website all around the history of it. It's like an independent to any brewery that it's just about this particular beer. But yeah, go for it. So if you've got anything on yours, yeah, crack on.
Yeah, I'm not going to really say much else about the brewery themselves, but they are based in Fremont in Maine, and it's two brothers basically. The one brother writes everything and sets everything up, and the other brother is keen on brewing. So I'm sure his father's very proud now. But their actual main brewery. It looks a beautiful place, nice and clean and open. It's been open since April 2013. It's like,
Right.
they've got a tasting room, a warehouse, a big old office there, and it just looks nice. And they got food, they got pizzas, they are open. Let's see when they're open. The tasting room is open Monday through Sunday, 11 until 8 p.m. So,
You got a day off this week?
what, me or them?
You.
Yeah, I got,
Saturday? I've got Saturday off, that's it. I'll meet you
Saturday.
there on Saturday.
Let's go. Yeah, how long does the flight over there take?
Oh, I ain't getting on a flight. Too much hassle.
What, are you gonna drive?
I'll think about it. I'll sort something else out. I'll meet
Remember
you
that
there, 3 o'clock Maine time.
Main time, 3 p.m. So that would be Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you there for a pint. Let's have a pizza if you want. Saturday. If
Yeah,
you
I
want.
can only have one, and then I've got to come back because I've got to be back at work on Sunday.
So it works for me. I mean, just think of well, one thing I did want to highlight. They're very big on environment and the planet. So if you're not taking a plane, that's probably better. They've got a lot of members associated with them, like Protect Our Winters, the Diana Fossey Gorilla Fund International. So a lot. Oh, there's a Royal River Conservation Trust, a
Oh,
land trust preserving a waters a watershed. So I guess that's probably a British-based company, right? I mean, it's American. There's no royal uh, associated organizations here, so
the only thing royal is Royal Trucks. Remember that band?
I think so. Is another email. Somebody's mentioned it. It was at a DrayBarrel saying, "No, Royal Tracks." Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
those.
do you remember them from like the end of the 90s? They were an American band, like a woman and a man. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
Maybe they're
official.
behind it.
Maybe, maybe Maine Coast Territory. Well, if they're doing a gorilla fund, that's international, so that maybe they're jumping into. I'm gonna look up Centre. I'm gonna look up Royal River Conservation Trust and find out. I
Okay,
guess that, yeah. But hey, that's all I got to talk about on this brewery. Hopefully,
good. Thank God for that.
oh, I went on a bit. But I am kind of getting towards my end of my pint. How are you doing?
I'm enjoying it. I'm going to savor it for the next. I'm going to hold on to it like it's my last pint in the pub, and
Oh,
closing isn't for another hour. So I'm just going to sip on it like that.
sip on it. It's not maybe not quite a drag, but
No, it will be after yours.
okay. So mine is.
Oh, you! It's Dregs of the Week.
Is
You
that
said that
fun?
without moving your lips. That's incredible.
Hey, it's a little skill I learned back in the
Yeah.
day. I thought you would have known about that.
You well, I thought you learnt a couple of tricks off of your peeping, brother.
Oh, that kind of brings me to my drag of the week.
Oh, look at that.
That
Like
was
a
well.
smooth intersection, that was.
Our intersections are classy. They just
Oh.
glide. I think that's a Dre of the week right there. But my drag of the week is associated with my brother, like the governor said there, but it's
Oh.
generally about making plans and kind of setting a time frame for stuff in a way. So just kind of get the bare bones of this. I tried to set something up on the weekend with my brother and my dad, and I said, look, it's Easter, we're going to be at home. Let's do a bit of we do these little pub quizzes. And I know you do as well with the family.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, it was from you where we got the idea. So I was like, okay, look, maybe 24 hours, maybe a little bit more. I said, look, we're on for this. Let's do it. Because my brother said, yeah, we're up for it. We're staying at home this weekend. Right.
Yeah.
7 p.m. GMT. Let's do it. We're ready. Get your questions ready. Nothing. So that's
So,
1 p.m.
so hang on, let's just break it down a little bit further. They're in Wales, in the United Kingdom, your dad and your brother, separate addresses. You're in Texas with your family. You arranged it for 7, a Zoom call, something like that, was it?
Yeah, Facebook Messenger. That's what we normally do. And
Yeah.
I always make the effort to break it down to their time. So I like
Yeah.
7 p.m.
So
your
you went
time.
out your way. So for you, it's a funny hour of the day. So what happened then? You put
Yeah,
the call in. What happened?
no call, no reply whatsoever about it. I'm like, okay, I haven't heard
Well, hang
anything.
on, not even from your dad.
No, but I did message my dad to begin with about it, and I looked at the message, and you can always see on Facebook if somebody's viewed a message and he hadn't, but my brother had, and he never responded. And this is a group message. So I messaged Ollie separately, and he said, "Yeah, we're off
What's his
for it."
name, is it?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Ollie. Sorry, I don't care. So I
He
messaged
won't
him.
listen. He fucking hates you.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's him again. Oh shit.
Hey, mastermind, fucking troubling me for questions.
But he always loves it. Well, he claims to love it. It's all a farce. So 7 p.m. Make the effort. Oh shit! I've just got a bit more beer in here. I just noticed that.
Oh,
I'm getting up to another pint.
what?
What?
Look at that. This is a big drink, this one.
If
Good
you're
job.
watching, I've got another half pint in my bottle. In my, if you're listening. So yeah, let's get back to it. So yeah, okay, nothing, no reply, and I said, I sent him another message like, what do you say, and nothing, and so 7:15 p.m. GMT, 1:15 p.m. GMT. Kit's my good wife. I mentioned her name, but that's fine.
Right. Yeah,
So-
all that this week. Yeah, go on.
I am. That's how worked up I am about it. But my good wife, she and she hates me saying good wife. That could be her
Yeah,
dread.
she's been texting Ollie saying, "Don't do this quiz with this fucking bloke. It's getting right on my nerves."
My lovely wife, she's doing something else, and we didn't hear back. And we made plans. I put on a rugby match. Okay, nothing. Already annoyed about it. So 7:15, he messages me. Yeah, we're up for it. Yeah, do you want to do it now? And we hadn't even thought about questions. It's like no. And I messaged him back. No. Sorry, we're doing other stuff now. Too late, and just nothing back from him after that. And I'm like, I mean, it's 15 minutes after the time we talked about a day before, or I said a day before, and just so that's my drag. I'm
Your
sorry.
trick is, after 15 minutes, which is a fair amount of time. I'll
It
get that.
is.
He's got no children. He's got there's not much going on over here because everything's shut down.
Yeah.
He's probably woken from one of his slumbers and thought, "Oh, I better speak to my nephew and my good brother over there and his good wife," as you say. And he just texts, say, "Yeah, we're up for it," and you say no. So you've gone proper Larry David on him. You've given him a 15-minute grace, got a 15-minute cutoff. He's come in just after 15 minutes. That's it. Sorry.
What are we supposed to do?
Well, you got your paper. You're just tearing up the questions. Fuck you.
Look, we got to.
What about your dad? What about him? Why didn't he get involved in the end?
No, I don't blame my dad. He's not very tech savvy, and and I know he loves it and he enjoys it. And every other time he's been on time, but he didn't see the message, I guess. And I'm not gonna. All he saw the messages. He knew what was happening, and he organizes and he helps Dad to organize. So, hey, anyway, I'm gonna move on.
I text him in the week.
My good brother.
He read it and he didn't reply.
Sounds about right. The same thing happens with me. A lot of times
I think maybe actually, like, to back up your drag, I think I'm the older brother, you're the older brother, my wife is the older sibling, the older sister.
Yeah.
And then we've all got, the second one is always is a brother. So we've all got younger brothers. They get away with what they fucking want.
They do. No, yeah, they do. It's like, but we give them so much slack, don't we? And this is my moment to.
Well, I don't. I just can't be asked. I think, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna do it again.
Don't make the effort.
Just wait. I will wait, and eventually they will crawl back.
They always do in the end.
Still waiting.
Yeah. You get pretty. I don't know. I'm just as an older brother. You do get a bit. You always look out for your younger brother, right? But it's always you as an older brother that does all the organizing, and that's the way it is. I mean, I don't know. It seems to be in our families anyway, but There we go.
Busy doing fuck all. That's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. And what's your drag anyway? Because we're getting to that.
Well, my draggies is slightly different. It's just a quick one.
Yeah.
I like boxing. I like UFC. I like all those type of things. And I'm getting fucked off now with all these pay-per-views. Pay-per-view boxing, pay-per-view thing. It's a big event, but the money they're charging is just getting stupider and stupider. And you just can't, you think, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to watch it. There's no fans at the minute in some of them. I'm not paying £25 to watch it. And, but, you know, so I follow it on the text, and then the next day I watch the highlights on YouTube. And you just think, if you'd have put that for 10 quid, you would have got a shitload of people watch that. £10, all right. 25 quid is fucking ridiculous, because a boxing match theoretically could be finished, the main event, within a few seconds if we catch them right. They're knocked out.
Yeah,
and
we've seen boxing.
And the UFC ones, there's some of them that are pay-per-views, and I know, especially in America, some of them, especially when Mayweather and all that fight, if his circus is in town, you're talking $100. And I just think, what the fuck, you know? Yeah, there's big prize money in boxing, but bring the price down so the normal person can pay it, and you'll get more people watching it. You'll get more fans, and then you won't have to charge as much in the long run. Yeah, ridiculous. It winds the fuck out of me.
And it's kind of a worry, because I've read a lot of stuff that they're talking about moving like the Six Nations to Sky and stuff like that, where you have to pay subscriptions. And
well, that's it. I mean, that's the point. I already pay the subscription.
Yeah.
To the sports channels.
Yeah.
Monthly, and then this is on top of that subscription.
It's the same here. It does happen here. You know, you do have to pay these special prices for the boxing matches. And I know my father-in-law is big into it, and he loves his fighting and loves to see the pay-per-view ones. I don't think he pays for them, so he kind of watches the more free ones. But it's just crazy. I mean, there's so much money involved anyway in it. Why not cut a break? I totally agree with that. It does seem to be. I haven't really seen it for the sports I like, you know. Luckily,
well, I suppose with combat sports though, they're not weekly. Well, maybe your favourite fighter, say in boxing, he's not fighting every month. He's fighting it's pathetic. The heavyweight division is fucking pathetic. You know, Muhammad Ali, when he first came out, he fought 10 times in a year. Yeah. He would defend his belt 3-4 times a year. Now they go a year between bouts, or they might have 2 bouts in 18 months. And you think, fuck off, just get on with it. You're not making yourself a brilliant boxer. Get out there and fight everyone that's out. You know, it's all political, and it does my nutting. At least with the UFC, they make good fights. If the top 2 blokes are willing to fight, they'll make the fight, and it will happen that year.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could go on about it forever, but that's my drag. Paying astronomical prices for combat sports, if you will.
Yeah, it's a kind
on top of already in a subscription. Yeah, it fucking grinds me. Anyway,
it's
that.
No, that's good. I struggle. I mean, we don't have subscriptions, but I know a lot of I've got into it over it's more of a recent thing. It's getting into the English Premiership for me, and you do have to pay a subscription over here for that, and I think it's a lot. But obviously the FA Cup and international matches are all on the BBC, which is free, but it's hard, you know. It's hard to I'd like to watch the highlights, but luckily rugby is so much easier accessible. So anyway, we are kind of at the end of this podcast video, if you will. Let's rate up beer.
My beer. I'm going to mark it. It's a standard ale, standard golden beer. Like I said, I would enjoy drinking an afternoon of it, but you know, maybe just for the gimmick of the afternoon. It's a 7.5. It's nothing spectacular, but it is a pleasant drink. So 7.5 out of 10 for the Wainwright golden beer.
Nice. That did look nice. That'd be a good walking beer. On my old, I love the name, Mino Tom. that just gets me. I should give him a mark for that. But it's just
Funny thing is, in my fridge here, I've got a beer, very old beer, British beer called Old Tom, which has got a cat on it. But we ain't got time to go on about that now, have we? So maybe that'd be another one.
Hey, I think so. Maybe one for the podcast or mini review. But yeah, I think this was a standard stout. I enjoyed it. I, just a standard stout. Nothing really jumped out at me this week on this one. So I will give this a 7 on the stout, just because I enjoy stouts. It's a good, solid stout in general. But there's no gimmicks to it at the end of the day. It says what it is.
Straightforward, yeah.
Yeah. So 7 for me, and I guess we will be back next week, eh, Gav?
Yeah, maybe something a little bit different. I'll try not to pick a bottled beer. I'll find some gimmicky bullshit to go along with. But
yeah, I might find.
I've got one lined up for May, but that'll become more apparent as we get to May.
Yeah,
about a month's time. I've got one for then in my fridge waiting. So that'll be a good one.
I'm excited. I'll knock out another little mini one for you, DrayBarrels, this week, and enjoyed yours this week. Thank you for the Welsh one.
Knock out what?
A little mini
review. Right, yeah. Sorry.
Not something else.
Your onanistic hobbies.
I guess on that note, we will bid you wonderful DrayBarrels a farewell.
On that sour note, I will say goodbye to everyone and safe drinking.
Cheers.
Arr.